Okay, this evening Shir is going to be on the Maimer and Hasidic Discourse, Shabbos Vayigash, Hey Teves. It's Shabbos Vayigash, the Parsha Vayigash, the 5th of Teves, which is the day that Chassidim commemorate. It's the day that there was a verdict issued in regards to the Svarim, in regards to the library, to the ownership, clarifying the ownership of the library, the Bavitcher library. And the Rebbe said this Maimer in Tov Shin Memches, which is late 1987. The Maimer is on the Parshas Vayigash, and it discusses, to discuss a brief overview in a nutshell, it discusses the difference between the tribe of Yehudah and the tribe of Yosef, what they signify on a daily basis, Aveda service to Hashem Almighty. So the Rebbe begins the Maimer, Vayigash Elav Yehudah Geimer, that Yehudah went over to Yosef in the Teichno Inyan who Agosas Yehudah LeYosef. Dainu Yichud Yehudah v'Yosef. That what is the contents of this Inyan? Is the Inyan of bringing Yehudah closer to Yosef. This is the unity, the link, the merge between Yehudah and Yosef. This is in regards to the Parsha. The same thing is also in regards to the Haftarah, which the Haftarah is what we read after we read the Torah portion. Shabbos, so we read the Haftarah. And it's called with the word Haftarah because Haftarah means saying farewell to the Parsha. So therefore the Haftarah is usually a reflection of the contents of the Parsha. So the Haftarah, it says, Valder, as a Haftarah's HaParsha, in the Haftarah of this Parsha, our sages instituted. Misupa, that what should be discussed, what should be recited, Shalosid Lo V'yesh Neyetzim, that there will be two eitzim. That the Eibush that tells Yecheskel, the prophet Yecheskel, that he should take a piece of wood, and that will represent Yehudah. The eitz and an additional piece of wood will represent Ephraim, who is a descendant from Yosef. And then he should put them together; they should become as one. And then there will be one melech to all, which is the Inyan of David. That as it concludes in the Haftarah, that Avdi David, my servant David, will be a king unto him. David Avdi Nasi Lahem Le'ilam, and David, my servant, will be a Nasi, will be a leader Le'ilam forever. The Ephraim, why is it that Ephraim is mentioned? That is the wood that's related to that Ephraim represents Yosef. Is the Ephraim, although he's one of the sons of Yosef and he's actually the younger son, the Ephraim who Iker Shifta Shel Yosef, because Ephraim is the main primary of the tribe of Yosef. Kemesha Kosabe, as it says, V'ula Mochiv HaKoten Yignal Memenu. That Ochiv HaKoten, that his son, the younger son, the younger brother, which means Ephraim Yigdal Memenu will even be greater than his older brother, who is Menashe. And he is the one that was also the head, the primary one, that was the group of Shvatim that were under one flag, referred to as Degel, that also included Menashe. So Menashe was one of the three tribes, together with Ephraim, and the Machane was called Machane Ephraim. This is because Yeshua came from Ephraim. Because of all of Mata Menashe Gamer, that Menashe is situated, when they rested in the desert, he was situated near Ephraim. But David Meshevet Yehudah, and David is from the tribe of Yehudah. This we understand that also the contents of the Haftarah reflects the unity, the connection, the merge between Yehudah and Yosef. In the same sense that we find it in the Torah portion, that Yehudah came closer to Yosef, in the same sense also in the Haftarah that we recite after the greeting of the Parsha. That both will be under one king. So the Rebbe continues, the Haftarah is the union of Nitzchis, which means it is everlasting, so therefore it must be an everlasting directive, an everlasting lesson, and internalized in every Jew. From this we understand that there is an everlasting directive and lesson for every person, man or woman. In the same sense that what took place in the past is something that is also existing now in a spiritual sense, in the same sense also what will be taking place in the future is also existing now in a spiritual sense. Because she came back, and surely things that took place in the past, that took place in the past, Yosef Yehudah. Since Torah was given as a directive for the Jewish nation, as it says in regards to Torah, Tzavas b'nei Yisrael, Daber el b'nei Yisrael, that it says in Torah that Torah is the main priority of Torah is to instruct the Jewish nation, to guide them, to teach them. From this we understand that the primary part of Torah is the guidance and the directive in a practical sense to the Jewish nation.
How Tzavas b'nei Yisrael is wrong?
Because they're mitzvahs. They're all mitzvahs. Tell them to do this, tell them to do that. It's everything is like what comes down in Maaseh.
But how you learn from this passage that it's wrong?
Because by Torah, wherever actually you look on the bottom of the Order 8, you'll see what's happening over there. It says over there in Tanit V'Eliyahu Rabbah that in Torah there's a question. This comes with a question. After a question, the question is, what is greater, the Yidden, the Jewish nation, or the Torah? So the pasuk says, "Kishu Eimer Tzavas b'nei Yisrael, Kishem Daber el b'nei Yisrael." From this we understand that the whole interest, the whole aim of the union of Torah is for the Jewish nation. And what is Tzav? Tzav is the union of a mitzvah. Tell them, guide them. All these inyanim are introductions to practical mitzvahs that they're going to do. Daber el b'nei Yisrael. That's one of the examples. Birchas Kehanim, the blessings of the Kehanim. Or Tzavas b'nei Yisrael, v'amarta lehem es karboni lach midishai. They're all inyanim of mitzvahs, especially Tzavas in inyanim of mitzvah. Tzivoy. The commandment. V'ayiroi b'ikir inyanim shel kol echad v'echad mi'Yisrael, ma'ashani nevreisi l'sham eshaskeni. And what is the lesson is in the main objective, the main content of every Jew, that is Mashani Nevresi L'Sham Eshaskeni, that a Yid was created to serve his Creator. So this is where every Yid, this is the main part of this Aveda. His Aveda is to serve the Creator in a practical sense.
So he's saying that the pasuk for Yigash Yehudah Yosef is like a miniature of what's going to happen later, that's reflected in the Haftarah, where it'll be in a peaceful way. And
right, but it's also the main objective is what it means now. In our present time, how is it translated in a spiritual sense?
By Yehudah and Yosef, it's confrontation. In the Haftarah, it's peaceful, no?
Right. By Yehudah and Yosef, it was Vayigash Yehudah, he was ready for war. And it's interesting, the Medrash tells Mamish that he pushed it, it was like, he gave a scream and things fell apart, Pashit, from his scream, and then it came, he gave a tip with his foot, and then it says, all of a sudden, he says, from the anger, the hair on his skin stood up. And then Yosef said, Yosef took his son to do the same thing. Menashe did the same thing. So Yehudah says, "Im came mishalonu." He must be from ours, because he had the same strength. Talking here about Giberim, Yehudah amongst them. He was the one that took responsibility. It says over there that Pari, they all fell, the teeth fell out. Like I said, the Medrash says the whole thing, what impact it has, the screaming. As it says in the Derushim, in the Maimarim. The explanation is, as it's mentioned in the discourses of this week's Parsha. Hasidic discourses, Yehudah v'Yosef and Beis Yonim, the Talmud, the Limud Maaseh. That in Yonim of Yehudah and Yosef are the two in Yonim of studying and doing.